Well, we were just talking about companies making moves in the public market. Bitcoin Standard Treasury Company is one of them. It plans to do this as part of a deal with Cantor Fitzgerald. It would make it the fourth largest public Bitcoin treasury. For more, we're joined by Sean Bill, Chief Investment Officer of the company. Sean, Shonali and I were just talking about this a little bit before the program and the idea of the utility of Bitcoin. It seems now that Bitcoin is only a bet that it will continue to increase in value. The utility of it isn't necessarily there with all of these companies becoming Bitcoin treasury companies. What view do you have?
Well, I think there's a lot of different use cases for Bitcoin. I think you can pursue yield strategies through creating Bitcoin revolvers, which face counterparties like the ETPs in the marketplace, like BlackRock and others. You can use it as collateral for insurance. So we think that's another really interesting avenue that you can pursue. So I think that the market is really kind of updating and changing and becoming a little more evolved in how Bitcoin will be used as collateral. We think that Bitcoin is the most pristine collateral that you can use.
Sean, what kind of insurance? I'm sorry, it's not like you can go to a traditional way insurance company and say, hey, AIG, I've got a bunch of Bitcoin. I don't believe.
No, you can go to the Caribbean insurance market, and you can actually use Bitcoin as collateral to underwrite insurance policies. So we think that this is a huge market that could be opened up, and that's an area that we're exploring.
Do you think that Bitcoin should be looked at by traditional banks when it comes to assets that a person has when they're being approved for a mortgage?
Well, that's already, I think that's already happening in finance companies. If you look at some of the mortgage products that are out there, you can pledge Bitcoin against a mortgage, get cash up front for that, and then use the house and the Bitcoin as collateral. So you're at like a 50% LTV. So I think the banks are playing catch up there.
What about Bitcoin being used as a means of transaction? Being used to pay somebody for something and not necessarily using it for dollars? Because that was the promise of Bitcoin years ago.
Yeah, I think for large payments, that's what you see with Bitcoin. When you have large payments, they go through the main chain. When you have smaller payments, people usually default to the Lightning Network. And I think really the Lightning Network is incredible in terms of the speed and efficiency of transacting, and really unlimited in terms of the size. I think we'll see how things work out with all the stable coins, but that's another really interesting area for payments. I think we'll see what develops there over time.
Sean, I understand that this would be the fourth largest public Bitcoin treasury company, and of course, some of the ones that have been out there, you think Strategy, of course, has been kind of the kingmaker in this space for so long. Why does the world need that many Bitcoin treasury companies? And isn't it stiff competition when there are other ones out there that are so big? Why would an investor interest go to the ones that have been more able to tap capital markets with history?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, I think that there are going to be just a couple winners here. I think that BSTR will be one of the winners. We're showing up with a bulldozer and a permit to clear cut Bitcoin. We're going to open up in the fourth spot, and we think that we'll very quickly slingshot into number 2. That's our mission. We're really trying to create a fortress-like environment for our Bitcoin and really trying to position ourselves as the Berkshire Hathaway of the Bitcoin ecosystem.
What do you mean by that? Like, do you mean by going and then buying other companies that are in the space and running them yourself the way that Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway has done?
Yeah, I think there's a great arbitrage here. We can issue debt at 1%. We can buy Bitcoin. And then, as Bitcoin appreciates, we naturally de-lever our balance sheet. So I think that's a really unique capability that Bitcoin treasuries have access to that other companies don't. I think that you'll see over time that you can build a treasury that will become the preferred counterparty to a lot of the financial companies out there. So if you think about who do you want to face as a finance company or as a bank, if you need a Bitcoin revolver, we want to make sure that BSTR is the counterparty of choice.
You have like 30 seconds left here, but this was the first press release I've ever read with the word OG in it, right? You said that the commitments that have come in were from longtime Bitcoin OGs. Who are they?
Adam Back is probably the OG of the OGs. He is the person that Satoshi reached out to when he wanted to cite Adam's work for the hash cash. As you guys know, the proof of work algorithms that secure the Bitcoin blockchain. So we have kind of the original patient zero of the Bitcoin ecosystem. So we're very excited about what we're building. We think that we got kind of unique access to OGs, in the space, and we can unlock Bitcoin that's not currently on exchanges at in very large quantities.
Sean, come back. That's Sean Bill, Chief Investment Officer at Bitcoin Standard Treasury Company. Certainly the trade of the day. We are seeing a lot of these hit the public market. That does it for us for Bloomberg Crypto today.